Sam Hartman has entered the transfer portal, and somebody is going to get absolute baller in the former Wake Forest quarterback. 38 touchdowns in 2022. That's good for third in the country. Only 12 interceptions. 3,700 yards, good for 10th in the country. Dude can sling it, played a lot of football, getting experience, and getting someone who can make your team better on day one. Now, Pete Thamel, this is interesting, of ESPN, he reported that Notre Dame is the expected landing spot for Hartman. We got to talk about this. This would be the biggest get of the Shorts era, that is the Marcus Freeman era, in South Bend for a number of reasons, but the first of which being, if you're an offensive playmaker, a running back, a tight end, a wide receiver, and you're looking for where you want to play your football next, I promise you at the top of your list is who has the quarterback that can get me the football. Because if you're a playmaker in the portal, you're likely looking for somewhere where you can put more on tape to help your draft stock and do more on the field to develop, and all of that requires having a competent and borderline elite quarterback like Sam Hartman. Okay, so if Notre Dame lands him, it's going to just attract more talent to Notre Dame via the portal. You look at next year for Notre Dame, and I think it could be, I mean, just to be 100% honest with you, I think it could make Notre Dame a New Year's Six kind of football team. Because you look at what they did this year, and they won 8 games throwing for right around 200 yards a game. It's hard to win a lot of football games when you throw for 200 yards. Okay, it is consistently. I mean, I know you have games where you have to win ugly and you don't light it up through the air, and that's fine. But to have that be consistently who you are, that keeps you from being elite. That keeps you from playing in those New Year's Six kind of football games. And I think for Notre Dame, acquiring a guy like Sam Hartman, that would help you get over the hump. Because, like I said, this year, they had a lot of pieces. I mean, they have those pieces on the offensive line. They've got a great backfield. They've got pieces on defense, but having a quarterback to help them take the next step, Sam Hartman would be that guy for them emphatically. Offensively, it would just add a whole nother prong to what they can do. They're going to be great doing the smash mouth thing. They're going to be great having those big human beings do the inside zone, do power, and have that element to it. But when you can throw off of it, well, then you start to flirt with the formula that Michigan is starting to get closer to. Then you start to flirt with the explosive plays where when that safety rolls down because he's tired of having to tackle power from 8 yards deep and he might roll up a little bit more to help himself and cheat a little bit, well, then that receiver has a lot of green grass to go run with. And it only matters if you have green grass as a receiver if you have a quarterback to throw it to you. And Sam Hartman has proven he is consistently that guy that can get it done for you. So Notre Dame, if they add Sam Hartman in 2023, they are without a doubt a substantially more dangerous team, and I truly believe would be flirting with a New Year's Six bowl berth kind of team. If you haven't yet subscribed, now's the time. Sam Hartman's in the portal. I promise you, he's not the last one. And we're going to cover this like nobody else is going to cover this. Okay, I promise you. This is the spot for you. 12 months out of the year, college football content. The game doesn't take a break, so we don't either. All right? So make sure you're locked in. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JD Piquel. A lot of interaction we do there, we can incorporate into this. All right? So make sure we got that going. Sam Hartman, for just the future of Notre Dame, forget 2023. Think beyond 2023. Think big picture. This would be a momentum piece for the Fighting Irish. First, it gives you proof of concept for the Marcus Freeman era at quarterback. Think you can then say to anybody in the transfer portal, if the Sam Hartman experiment works, come play at Notre Dame, saw what Sam Hartman did, you can do that too, get yourself drafted to a nice little spot. Also, take that on the recruiting trail at the high school level. Same thing. You saw Sam Hartman for how much success he had, took us from an 8-win football team, now we're playing for New Year's Six bowl games. You can come do that at Notre Dame. We have that kind of capability. And that just changes the entire conversation, I think, around the Fighting Irish for recruits and guys in the portal. Let's go back to the recruiting trail for a second. Notre Dame, I think, is continuing to gain more and more steam. But in year 2 for Marcus Freeman, and year 3 and beyond, it's going to be about having something to your name, having some juice to what this program is under him. 8 wins is great, but Notre Dame, that's not the standard there. And so if you can get more wins, likely adding Sam Hartman to the recipe would undoubtedly do that. More wins equates to what? More recruiting juice. It equates to that proof of concept. More recruiting juice equates to what? More talent on campus. More talent on campus gives you then the responsibility to develop that talent, but more often than not, it's the ingredient it takes to win more games. So it kind of creates this snowball effect for Notre Dame. And I don't want to say that the entire future of Marcus Freeman's time at Notre Dame rides on getting Sam Hartman to Notre Dame, but I tell you what, it wouldn't hurt anything, and I think it could kind of ramp it forward, if that makes sense, sort of microwave what he wants to get done there. So it's not a foregone conclusion that he's going to be at Notre Dame. Pete Thamel, again, said, in quotations, expected landing spot. I say quotations because that's what his tweet said. There's a couple other teams that I think would make sense based on what it sounds like Sam Hartman is looking for, which from the report is a high-end situation to keep him from declaring for the NFL draft this year. Two schools that, in my mind, could make sense. Not saying that they want Sam Hartman, not saying there's been contact. I'm just looking at who's in the market right now. And that's Alabama, with Bryce Young leaving, and the NIL opportunities, I would imagine, are there in Tuscaloosa, and playing for the GOAT and Nick Saban, and playing in a program that has, the last couple of years, put out guys that play in the league. Like, Bama would make a whole lot of sense in my mind if Sam Hartman were to not end up at Notre Dame. Second school that I think is interesting is South Carolina. Shane Beamer, I'm telling you what, I have no more eligibility. I would play for him right now. He has that much excitement, I believe, and that much juice on the recruiting trail. And also, they just hired an offensive coordinator who was in the NFL for a really long time. He was in the NFL for a while. And for Sam Hartman, this next chapter for him, in my mind, is all about improving his NFL draft stock. He's played college football for a long time. If he wanted to be comfortable and put up more big numbers, he could do that at Wake Forest. But being somewhere where he's going to be able to get more exposure, be better developed, and answer some questions I believe scouts would have about him as a professional prospect, I think South Carolina and playing in an NFL offense could do that for you. If I'm a scout and I see you playing in the system that we run or similar to the system that we run, that makes me feel a little bit better about you. I don't have to wonder about how you translate. I've seen you play in that system. I've seen what you can do. So I think that could be somewhere to look at. Again, Notre Dame is the expected landing spot, and it would be the biggest recruit of the Marcus Freeman era if they can get Sam Hartman into the program. Would be a huge piece for momentum, can sell it to guys in the transfer portal, can sell it to guys on the recruiting trail. You make Notre Dame more of an offensive power. Everyone thinks about the blue-collar element to Notre Dame's football and how they get downhill and they play good defense, but add a quarterback back to that recipe, I think it changes the way you look at Notre Dame. So it's Notre Dame until we hear otherwise as the expected landing spot. But Sam Hartman is in the portal, and someone is going to get an absolute dog. This has been The Hard Count. We appreciate you locking in with us. Jack Terry, Lifting Heavy. This is your program. For the people, by the people. Everything that you know and love about this beautiful sport, we got you covered year-round. So make sure you're locked in. Make sure you are subscribed. Don't want you to miss anything. Also, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at JD Piquel. We're going to keep the party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.